Before Louis left the country to find his old flame, he sent me a huge sum of money. He attached a note, "Live a good life." I got the hint and didn't make a fuss. I took the money and disappeared from his world. Half a month later, he dragged me out of the arms of a male model. "Well, look at you, living it up." I just laughed awkwardly. "Hey, it's all thanks to the generous breakup fee you paid." He went quiet for a moment, then exploded in a furious roar. "What the hell do you mean, breakup fee? That was your damn birthday present. What woke me up this morning wasn't my alarm, my ambition, or a good morning kiss from my boyfriend. It was the notification of a bank deposit." I groggily counted the zeros, getting more awake with each one. With a trembling hand, I clicked for the details. The memo had just 4 words: "Live a good life." My mind went blank for a second. The other side of the bed was cold. As far as I could see, there wasn't a single trace of Louis left. Based on my years of experience reading billionaire romance stories on Wattpad, I had a pretty good idea of what was happening. I was, most likely, being dumped. I wasn't entirely surprised. When Louis and I first got together, I knew this day would come sooner or later. Louis was a rich, handsome playboy who was famously non-committal. He was also known for being incredibly generous to his ex-girlfriends, giving them ridiculously large severance packages. Now that I'd seen it for myself, I knew I should probably make a graceful exit from his life. But my fingers moved on their own, opening our pinned chat. I guess I was still a little unwilling to let go. I couldn't believe that just one night could erase all the love between us. Was last night's tenderness all fake? Were his promises, whispered as he held me close, "I'll be there for every important moment of your life," all lies? While I was lost in thought, a new message popped up in the chat. "Did you get it?" Before I could even reply, another one came through. "Sorry, I'm going to have to miss it. You can pick a place you like and do it in your own style. Take your time." I typed, "Why?" Then deleted it. Is there something I did wrong? Deleted. Can we please not break up? Please, I'm begging you, wah. Deleted. I typed and deleted, but couldn't bring myself to send a single thing. After a long while, Louis sent a voice call request. His voice was lazy and relaxed. "What are you typing, a whole novel?" "Don't bother, it's not that serious." Hearing an airport announcement in the background, I froze for a second. "Where are you?" "HM. The airport." I gripped my phone tighter. A sudden, terrible possibility hit me, and my voice came out strained. "Are you flying to France?" Louis chuckled. "Smart girl." Just like that, my heart died. I'd always heard that Louis had an old flame who lived in France. If she so much as called, he would drop everything and fly over to be with her. And me? I was the one being dropped. Before hanging up, Louis even reminded me that it was my first day at my new job and I shouldn't be late. How thoughtful. We'd just broken up, and he was still worried about his ex-girlfriend being a good employee. I counted the zeros on the transfer one more time and breathed a sigh of relief. I consulted my bestie, who was currently drowning in prep for the bar exam, and confirmed that he couldn't legally ask for the money back. So, I promptly quit my job, blocked Louis, changed my number, and moved out of my apartment. The whole process was smooth as silk. I know how to be a good ex. A proper ex-girlfriend should just vanish off the face of the earth. No contact, and absolutely no trying to get back together. At least, I knew Louis wasn't the type to go for clingy or desperate. In fact, he hated it. So, no matter how much it hurt, I couldn't make a scene. I couldn't fight or argue and risk destroying whatever good impression he had left of me. The only thing I could do was, buy Starbucks without a discount, wear daily contacts without makeup, and order takeout without using coupons. Damn it, how is this money lasting so long? The interest I'm earning every day is more than what I'm spending. I was like a lottery winner who suddenly had no idea how to splurge. I searched online for what to do after winning the lottery: buy cars, flip houses, invest in stocks and mutual funds. They were all ways to make more money, not a single suggestion on how to blow it all. How can people be so greedy? Don't they know how to quit while they're ahead and just enjoy life? 2 minutes later, I started searching for low-risk, high-return investment methods. After scrolling through a bunch of articles, my head was swimming with financial jargon. I dazedly tossed my phone aside. Forget it. You can't make money beyond what you understand. Besides, almost every article listed buying a house as the top priority, which made me a little sad. I remembered the day I got my job offer. I'd proudly treated Louis to dinner, telling him, "Hee, I'm one step closer to my goal." I'm the oldest child at home, with 2 younger brothers. After my brothers started elementary school, I was forced to give up my room and move onto the balcony. 2 folding screens served as the walls of my room, doing little to hide my cramped and awkward situation. My parents said it was for the best. This way, they could make sure I wasn't getting into trouble with boys and slacking on my studies. Besides, they said, girls are meant to get married and leave, so they don't need their own rooms anyway. After the umpteenth time my brother peeked at me while I was changing, I made a vow: I had to have my own little house. A house where the bedroom is a bedroom, and the balcony is a balcony. Louis listened quietly for a long time before nodding. You will. Then he asked me what my next goal was. Full of bravado, I announced, to live in that little house with Louis and a bunch of cats and dogs. He laughed. Looking back, he was probably already planning to break up with me then. Just sitting there, laughing at me. I rolled over, feeling miserable. The aftershock of the breakup was hitting me harder than I expected. I was thinking about taking a trip to clear my head when my bestie called. Ugh, rich lady, please just take me in as your sugar baby. I don't want to work for it anymore, wah. I decided to wait for her to finish her 2 exams so we could go wild together. Every day, I'd wake her up to study, gossip with her in our spare time, and whip up some nutritious meals to boost her brain power. I don't think I miss him that much anymore. I mused to my bestie late one night. She was half asleep. That's normal. Less than a minute later, I was biting my blanket and whimpering. I still miss him. Having money is great, but I want the money and him. Am I being too greedy? Her voice was thick with sleep. Understandable. So, should I add him back and shamelessly beg him to take me back? You think I've got a shot? My bestie was silent for a few seconds, then took a deep breath. Can you have some self-respect? You've got money and free time now. You can find any distraction you want. Stop pining over your ex-sugar daddy who won't even eat leftovers. Okay, fine, I grumbled, pulling the covers over my head. I'll download that game again tomorrow. I'll flirt with like 10 or 8 guys at once. My bestie didn't say anything. A moment later, she scooted over next to me, grabbed my face, and hissed through gritted teeth. Snap out of it. The only guys you'll find in a game are little kids and weirdos. Ugh, whatever. Just wait till I'm done with my exams. I'll take you out and show you a good time. A good time? What kind of good time? Was she talking about male models and entertainers? I've seen them. The first year Louis and I were together, I went to a birthday party his friends threw for him. It was at a high-end karaoke club, and there were scantily clad men and women around every corner. The guys weren't as handsome as Louis, and their bodies weren't as good either. If I had to point out one thing they had going for them, it was their smooth talk. Every word they said was sweeter than honey. Unfortunately, I only got to hear a few lines before a grim-faced Louis dragged me home. I was forced to listen to his sarcastic jabs all night, accompanied by his passionate, intense attention. But why is it that the one who burns the hottest is the first to grow cold? So cruel. I really couldn't sleep, so I ended up downloading the game after all. It was a good way to kill time and distract myself. Under the covers, the phone screen was blinding. I squinted as I waited for the game to load, clicked through a dizzying array of welcome back gifts and event pop-ups, and went to my friends list. A new message immediately caught my eye. Message me when you see this. It was from 6 days ago. The previous message was from 4 years ago, when I told him I was going to focus on my real life and quit playing. He had wished me well. This guy. Oh, I remember now. During the summer after my high school entrance exams, I worked as a paid game companion to earn some money. Was a random jungler I got matched with. He added me as a friend to team up, and when he found out I was taking orders, he just bought out all my time. Later, I found a part-time job and stopped, but we'd still duo queue whenever I logged on occasionally. Sorry, I just saw this. What's up? I couldn't think of any reason he'd contact me after 4 years. Was he still impressed by my skills? Or, after all this time, did he want a refund? I specifically made him swear he was an adult and wouldn't ask for a refund back then. The next day, the first thing I did when I opened my eyes was check the chat. No new reply. He probably sent it to the wrong person. Just as I was about to exit, his grayed-out avatar suddenly lit up. Almost instantly, a new message popped up. Where did you go without a word? I was a bit confused. Was he asking what I'd been up to these past few years? Studying, dating, finding a job, becoming single again. Single? He seemed really surprised. I suddenly felt a little embarrassed to talk about it. I said I was going to get serious about my life, and I seriously dated Lewis for 3 years, only to get dumped so abruptly. So embarrassing. But I still replied honestly, it's normal. We got tired of each other, so we broke up. His replies came flying in. Tired? Who got tired? How did you get tired? Remembering myself just a week ago, foolishly dreaming about the future, I sighed. I replied, nothing lasts forever. I was just too stupid. The word stupid got censored into asterisks. I corrected it, I was just being dumb. The word dumb also got censored. I tried again, changing it to clown. As I typed those 2 words, I stared at them for a moment and suddenly felt a wave of emotion wash over me. In the end, all I sent was, it was me. I got tired of him. Seeing a string of question marks from him, I felt even worse. What's so weird about it? Who's going to spend their whole life on just one man? I bit my lip, still feeling emotional. There are so many young, hot out there for the taking. He didn't reply for a long time. I dozed off again and woke up to a smiley face emoji from him, plus 3 words. Good for you. I had no idea what was so good for me about it. But at least my days of babysitting my exam cramming friend weren't so boring anymore. It felt like I was back in college again, duo queuing with him. Back then, I'd have my mic on, chatting idly, while he silently typed his responses. Now, worried about disturbing my bestie, I was the one with the mic off. Had his mic on but hadn't said a word. As we silently played into our 3rd game, his voice suddenly came through my headphones. Come get the blue buff. I just froze in the river. I didn't snap out of it until some assassin jumped out of nowhere and one-shot me. Sorry. He paused, then let out a soft chuckle. Sorry for what? It sounded so much like him. It really did, but this guy's voice seemed a bit deeper. Your voice sounds a lot like my ex-boyfriend's. The voice on the other end was strangely sarcastic. Oh, should I mute myself then? Weren't you tired of him? No, it's fine. Keep talking. After sending that, I suddenly remembered something, but I couldn't type fast enough before my character respawned, so I just deleted everything. So, his speech impediment was gone. Had once been in an accident that left his best friend disabled. The psychological trauma was so severe that for a time, he couldn't speak. Since he could communicate normally now, he must have worked through it. Thinking about it, it was probably best not to bring up old wounds. Halfway through the game, my stress eat-out bestie ran over and hugged me, crying, I don't want to take the exam anymore. Wah, maybe I should just go get a job, wah. I was distracted trying to comfort her when she grabbed my cheeks and demanded, What's more important, the game or me? This random dude or me? I give up. It was a losing game anyway, so I just hit the surrender button. Surrendering already? Yeah, logging off. In such a hurry? Something up? I've got a clingy person to console. Ooh, a new flame? Why was he being so pushy again? I frowned and quickly typed back, I'll be on later. He wouldn't let it go, asking, how late is later? You're not lying to me, are you? You better keep your word, I'll be waiting. I took off my headphones, and the world went quiet. But a strange feeling flickered in my heart. Even his tone of voice was so similar. After stuffing ourselves, my bestie and I went for a walk to digest. We passed by an inconspicuous storefront, and she suddenly stopped. Should we come here next week? Sure, but what is this place? H City's most legit club. Top quality. I got it. She was still fixated on showing me a good time. Honestly, it wasn't necessary. I wasn't over Lewis yet and had zero interest in other men. Why don't you focus on your exam first? We can go out and have fun together after you're done. But, she said, shaking my arm, it's your birthday next week. I had completely forgotten about that. For the past 2 years, I'd spent my birthday with Lewis. The mention of it now that we'd broken up left a hollow feeling in my chest. Come on, come on. It'll be so depressing for the two of us to be at home. It'll be more fun to celebrate together with a crowd. The word together hit me right where it hurt. But I held my ground and shook my head. I don't like places like that. She couldn't persuade me and had to give up. After our walk, we went for a late-night snack and got back after 10. It was so late, he was probably offline. I logged in, and his avatar was lit up. I hadn't even clicked on our chat window before a team invitation popped up. I spoke first, sorry, something came up. I'm late. He was silent on the other end, but I could hear his slightly ragged breathing. Not starting the game? It's been a while, S said, his voice strangely strained. It's been a long time since I've heard your voice. It really had been a long time. I glanced towards the bathroom. My friend is taking a shower, so I can use my mic now. I'll have to turn it off later. As soon as I said that, it felt like even his breathing stopped. Did his internet lag? How were we supposed to play like this? I was already a little tired and was about to suggest we play tomorrow when S spoke, his voice cold. You really have a new flame? You move fast. Did I interrupt you too? I couldn't ignore the acidity in his tone. Seriously, men and their brotherhood. What does it matter to him if I have a new boyfriend? It's not his place to be offended on Lewis's behalf. But the words that came out of my mouth were honest. No new flame. It's my bestie. She's studying for her exams. S was quiet for a while. Then I heard a long whoosh of air through the headphones, like he'd let out a breath. Oh, your bestie. He paused, then asked, a city? I was a bit surprised. A city is my hometown. I can't believe he knew that. But on second thought, it wasn't that strange. I probably mentioned it during that long summer when I babbled to him every day. I just didn't expect him to have such a good memory. H City. Oh. His voice was mixed with the crisp sound of keyboard clicks. There aren't many exam centers there. Have you booked a hotel yet? No need, we live really close. I stopped myself abruptly. He was a stranger, after all. I cautiously changed the subject. Are we still playing? If not, I'm logging off. It's getting late, you should get some rest. Don't go, he called out. Let's chat for 5 more minutes. About what? About how to keep you from getting tired of me. I really wanted to ask Lewis what it would take to keep our love fresh and vibrant. I didn't have the answer myself, but since I'd already made the claim, I had to stick to the script and give a standard answer. Good looking, great body, provides plenty of emotional support, and is amazing in bed. Don't I? He coughed, his tone stiff. Doesn't he measure up? He was perfect in every way, flawless. If I kept this up, I'd blow my cover. I racked my brain and stammered, he gained weight. That wasn't a lie. Near graduation, Louis and I moved in together off campus. We spent a lot more time together, and whenever he was free, he'd just lounge around with me. His abs were still there, but they weren't as defined as they used to be. Oh. He was silent for a full 10 seconds on the other end, followed by the faint rustling of clothes. When he spoke again, his voice was rigid. I'm logging off. You should get to bed early. I glanced at the time. It hasn't been 5 minutes yet. I need to hit the gym. It's urgent. I was completely taken aback. Men are such incomprehensible creatures. The gym in the middle of the night? My girlfriend left me. I have to work hard to get her back. I was stunned for a moment and just mumbled a response. No wonder he suddenly messaged me. Turns out he was going through a breakup too. Wait, does that make sense? I adopted a serious tone. That's kind of scummy of you. If you want to win her back, you should focus on that. How can you be hitting up other girls for duo cues and chats at a time like this, just to pass the time? That's not right. And what about you? He cut me off abruptly. Aren't you just killing time with a strange man right now? Duo cueing, that's pretty flirty, isn't it? I was speechless, my cheeks instantly burning. I'm different from you. I made a clean break with my ex. To maintain my persona, I added in a small mumble, besides, this is just to kill time. If I really wanted to have fun, I'd be at a club or a KTV. His voice suddenly shot up. You? Go to a club? For a split second, it felt like something Louis would ask. The thought of him with his old flame right now, probably already sliding smoothly into his next relationship, made me bite my lip. I raised my voice in defiance. Yeah. I'll go every night. And I'll order 8 guys. My bestie couldn't understand why I had a change of heart after just one shower. But she was thrilled, and her enthusiasm for studying even got a boost. On my birthday, I put on the skimpy little dress she handed me. I hesitated several times. After all, we were going out to be the customers, the ones appreciating the male eye candy. Dressing up so much felt like I was spending money just to please someone else. But she was looking at me with such hopeful eyes, wringing her hands anxiously. Don't you like it, sweetie? I spent so long picking it out. I really think it suits you. I immediately nodded vigorously. I love it, I love it. I absolutely love it. My friend's feelings were the most important thing. Being a buzzkill is a cardinal sin. So what if I get ogled by guys I don't like? I'll just bear with it. Yeah. Less than 2 minutes after we sat down in our booth. I'm such a hypocrite. I was completely overwhelmed by the sheer beauty around me. The slim waists, the broad backs, and the faces, sculpted like statues under the dim purple and red lights. My reason evaporated in the thick air, heavy with the scent of perfume and cigars. Miss, would you like another bottle of Ace of Spades? Yes. Open 10 bottles. Miss, it's cold with so little on. Would you like to put on a jacket? I happily draped his firm, warm chest and abs over my back. With one guy nestled on my left and another leaning on my right, and one pressed against my back, I was dizzy from the waves of young, hormonal energy. Right on cue, a dish of sake-flavored ice cream was presented before me. Miss, let me feed you. The handsome boy held the small spoon by one end and leaned in close. The floral scent of his cologne, warmed by his body heat, rushed towards me like a spring breeze. As the sake and cream melted in my mouth, I think I started to get a little drunk. Otherwise, why would I suddenly think of Louis? In such a happy atmosphere, the image of his gloomy face was so out of place. I even thought I heard his voice, light and mocking. Well, look at you, living it up. I really was living it up. I never imagined life could be this exciting. I savored the aftertaste of the ice cream. I want more. Feed me another bite. That next bite never came. A hand shot out from nowhere and snatched the spoon away. A man who looked a lot like Louis stood before me, staring daggers at me as he slowly put that spoonful of ice cream into his own mouth. Damn it, that was like $50 a bite. Why is he eating it? Pay me back. Wait, did I order this guy? My fuzzy brain was struggling to think when my face was suddenly cupped in his hands. His palms and knuckles were cool against my skin, making me shiver. The man's voice was low. Open your mouth. Didn't you want me to feed you? Whoa, no. This wasn't okay. Even though I'd opened the door to a whole new world tonight, I hadn't opened it that wide. But my sluggish nerves couldn't close my mouth in time. The cool, rich flavor was delivered to the tip of my tongue, paused for a moment, and then tangled with it fiercely. My head was buzzing. Hey, who the hell are you? Trying to steal our business. The complaints from the guys around me faded into the distance as the sound of my own heartbeat grew louder and louder in my chest. Even though I was still nestled in the warm embrace of a male model, I suddenly felt the blood and heat drain from my body. Something was wrong. This man. I struggled, trying to push him away, but he gave my earlobe a gentle squeeze. And just like that, I was completely sober. I had kissed Louis countless times. I knew exactly what that little gesture of his meant. Pay attention. Pay attention to what? What is he doing here? In the end, my bestie, who was completely wasted, pulled Louis away. She slurred, "What's your number? How can you be so unprofessional?" When she got a clear look at his face, her expression went slack. Huh? She looked at me, then back at Louis. Camilla, I think I've had too much to drink. I'm totally seeing your ex-boyfriend, ha ha ha. Louis, with a blank expression, instructed someone behind him, "Take this lady home. Make sure she does her practice questions. She's not allowed to sleep until she gets an 80%. What gives you the right to mess with her?" I tried to stand up to stop him, but the handsome guy behind me still had his arms wrapped around my waist. I couldn't get up and ended up plopping right back down. The guy let out a little oof, his voice dripping with charm. "You want more, miss? Let's go again." Louis's face instantly darkened. He threw a black card on the table, his voice sounding like it was laced with ice. "Get the hell out of here." The source of heat behind me vanished in an instant. Not just behind me, but the handsome guys to my left and right, and every other one in sight, were gone. They disappeared so fast it was like they left after images. I was completely baffled. A jacket, still warm from his body, was draped over my head. "Put this on." The leather sofa dipped as he sat down next to me. The cold, clean scent of him chased away the smell of powder and perfume in the air. I clutched the jacket, slowly coming back to my senses. Why do I feel like I've been caught cheating? I tried to scoot away, but I couldn't move. A large hand clamped onto my waist, and Louis's aggressively handsome face was inches from mine. "In a hurry to leave? The night is young. I'll play with you." He glanced at the drinks on the table and curled his lip. "After all, you ordered so many different things. Can't let it go to waste, right, Camilla?" The way he said my name was clipped, and even a slowpoke like me could feel the suppressed anger. I was baffled and guilty. What's his problem? We broke up. Does he get to control how wild his ex gets? That's so unfair. I wasn't even controlling him. Come on, tell me. How do you want to play? He grabbed my wrist and forced my hand under his shirt, pressing it against his abs. You seemed to be enjoying feeling these up earlier. Why'd you stop? The fruit platter was pushed in front of me. Which one do you want? I'll feed it to you. You don't want any? Are you full? Maybe you should throw some of it up and then eat? I kept shrinking back. Louis, I'm a little tired. I want to go home. Home. He laughed as if he'd heard a joke and scoffed, "You blew all your money here. I don't think you want a home at all." I had no idea what he was talking about. Was he mad that I used his breakup money to hire male models? For a petty, possessive guy like Louis, that was probably way out of line. He was probably furious. I gave a weak, sycophantic laugh and tried to soften my tone. "Well, that's just because you're so generous." Louis pointed at himself in disbelief. "Do I look like the generous type?" I nodded my head frantically like a woodpecker. Generous. So generous. The breakup fee was enough for me to buy an apartment. He fell silent, then hesitated. "Breakup fee? What breakup fee? I don't remember giving you anything like that." "Oh crap. Is he going to ask for it back?" I quickly pulled out my phone and showed him the transaction history. See. The breakup fee. The club music was loud, the air was thick with smoke, and everything pulsed with a happy rhythm. Except for our booth. The atmosphere here felt frozen. After a long moment, Louis managed to speak, his voice strained. "You think this is a breakup fee?" What else could it be? It's not like you were giving me money to buy a house, right?" "Ha, ha." My dry laughter died out as Louis's expression grew darker and darker. "Is it possible?" Louis took a deep breath, his eyes like a stagnant pond. "That it really was for you to buy an apartment?" "Huh." Seeing my dumbfounded expression, he closed his eyes and gritted his teeth. "That was your damn birthday present." Louis was so mad he didn't say a word the whole way. I was upset too. Who asks such an important question at a critical moment like that, when you're half-conscious and on the verge of, you know? Any normal person would assume that a passion-soaked "do you want it?" is a request for entry, and a panting "do you like it?" is a request for a performance review, right? I shyly gave my consent and a satisfied approval. And now he's telling me he was seriously asking if I wanted him to buy me an apartment near my office as a birthday present. Ha. Ridiculous. So what about all those nights I spent crying into my pillow? Was that just to prove I could stay up late? There are 11 clubs in each city. I staked them out every night, rotating between them. I was scared I'd run into you, but also scared I wouldn't. Oh, so he's pretty good at staying up late too. And because someone complained I gained a couple of pounds, I had to hit the gym during the day to cut fat. It was exhausting. His tone was full of resentment. Someone? His old flame? He's really dedicated. I hope he doesn't die from overexertion. I emotionlessly pulled back the covers for him. Then you should get some sleep. I'm heading back. I turned to leave. Wait. He grabbed me. Where are you going in the middle of the night? Weren't you pretty eager to check in at the front desk with your ID earlier? Earlier was earlier. Now it just feels awkward. I tried to pull my hand away. My friend drank too much. I'm going to check on her. You don't need to worry about her. Why not? He started a video call. Oh, I guess I really didn't need to worry. Her face was flushed, and she was flanked by two scantily clad handsome men. The one on the right lifted his shirt. You want to take my clothes off? Do this practice question first. The one on the left was already shirtless, holding out a small leather whip. He's so mean, brother. Not like me. I'll only dote on you, sister. Vent all your stress on me. Recite one legal statute, and you get one lash. Louis ended the call for me. Is this what you like? I snapped out of my shock. Huh. You should have said so earlier. He lowered his eyes, a hint of grievance in his voice. I can learn. He seemed to be waiting for me to deny it, but I honestly nodded. I like it. I started liking it today. Louis tried to hold back his frustration, but finally conceded, fine, I'll learn. Just as long as you don't get tired of me. That sounds familiar. I thought hard for a moment, and a crazy idea popped into my head. No way. It couldn't be. I cautiously asked, "How did you know I was in H City?" He let out an almost imperceptible sigh and pulled me onto his lap. You idiot. You still haven't figured it out? I was horrified. You're. My world came crashing down. So we knew each other that long ago? Then. All the silly teenage crushes, family drama, and gossip about the neighborhood cats and dogs that I'd one-sidedly babbled about during that time I was taking game orders, he heard all of it? How else do you think I would have known? But, you're the heir to the family. Based on my extensive reading of billionaire romance novels, all he had to do was wave his hand and order his assistant to find me, dead or alive. What am I, a gangster? Louis couldn't help but chuckle, but his voice softened. Camilla, the world is a big place. If you really wanted to leave, I would never have been able to find you. It felt like a hand squeezed my heart, a tight, sour ache. I've been thinking these past few days, trying to figure out where things went wrong. I thought about it day and night, and I just couldn't understand. Even though I knew this was a tender moment for baring our souls, I rudely interrupted him. Louis, let's talk about this tomorrow. You need to sleep first. I was genuinely afraid he was going to collapse from exhaustion. Louis lowered his gaze to my dress, and the temperature in the room climbed. I'll sleep tomorrow. Business first. The bow tied at the nape of my neck was gently tugged, and the front of my dress suddenly loosened. I scrambled to cover myself, but he pinned my hands down. Louis stared at me for a long moment, then slowly leaned in. A searing heat bloomed on my chest, traveled upwards, and blossomed on my lips. His puppy dog eyes were locked on mine, his gaze darkening inch by inch, his voice raspy. Do you want it? He slowly shifted his hips. The meaning was obvious. But I was afraid of another ridiculous misunderstanding, so I had to be sure. I poked his hardness with my finger. Are you talking about this? Louis froze for a second, then couldn't help but laugh, the warm air brushing against my ear. Yeah, big bros. It didn't happen. A phone call shattered the mood. The desire vanished from Louis's face, and he let me go. Isabelle, don't worry, I'm on my way back now. Isabelle. His old flame. He said he could catch some sleep during the flight, but I was so worked up that I dragged him to bed, forced him to close his eyes and rest, and told him to wait until morning to leave. It's my birthday today. You have to listen to me. Louis hesitated for a second, then obediently lay down and pulled me into his arms. Okay. I'll listen to you. I knew he didn't get much rest that night. He was silent, but worried. She just had her last surgery and came back to the country. She's not adjusting well, and her emotions are all over the place. I opened the plane's window shade and watched the sea of clouds for a while before turning to him. Her last one? Louis nodded, then after a moment, it clicked. He raised an eyebrow at me. Are you jealous? No. Love often comes with a feeling of indebtedness, but guilt isn't love. I understood all of that. I was just sad. Isabelle was once the principal dancer of a ballet company. 4 years ago, she finally got the chance to perform at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. With the opportunity she had dreamed of and worked for over a decade in her hands, the mental pressure reached an unprecedented high. The physical reaction was so severe she couldn't eat or sleep. Louis, her friend of many years, couldn't bear to see her like that and insisted on taking her out to relax. Fate has a way of striking when you least expect it. An intersection with a zero accident rate just happened to have an out-of-control car that day, heading straight for Louis's side. At the last second, Isabelle pulled him towards her and shielded him with her arm. No one died in the horrific accident, but the price was Isabelle's left arm, which was so damaged she could no longer lift it on her own. The swan's wings had been broken. I met Isabelle at Louis's house. Her gaze didn't linger on me. It passed right through me as if I were air, landing on Louis behind me. I want butterfly pastries from the International Hotel. Okay, Louis agreed immediately. I'll have someone go buy them. By the way, let me introduce you. This is. I want you to buy them. The interruption was abrupt, and the living room fell silent for a moment. No problem. Louis nodded to the butler. Get a room ready. The butler glanced at me quickly, hesitating slightly. Mississippi Camilla's room, does it need to be changed? Oh, so the beautiful room with the garden view was taken. Louis didn't seem surprised. He said calmly, I was talking about my room. Camilla is staying with me. He squeezed my hand and then took it. Let's go, see if there's anything you want to eat. I didn't move. I want to take a nap. I'm a little tired from last night. Louis's face instantly darkened, and he lowered his voice, his eyes full of displeasure. I'll deal with you when I get back. Louis returned 3 hours later with a pile of food. Pick something. I immediately pointed to the bag of butterfly pastries. I want that. Okay. Only when he took them out did I realize he had bought 2 bags. What if she wants both bags? She can't eat that much. At most, she'll have a piece to taste. But what if she really wants them? Louis pulled a chair over and sat in front of me, lowering his eyes to help me open the package. Isabelle's surgery and recovery are over. She should be able to live a normal life now. So you're off the hook. He put a pastry in my mouth. Is it good? I chewed. It was so sweet. Delicious. A small smile appeared on Louis's face, and he reached out to wipe the corner of my mouth. Everything I do for her isn't just out of guilt, because she's my dearest friend. But even so, I would never give her something that was meant for you just because she suddenly wanted 2 bags. I will never involve you in the mistakes I've made in the past. You won't suffer a single bit because of it. Our relationship belongs only to the 2 of us and has nothing to do with anyone else. It was sincere. It was what he truly felt. I pressed down on his hand, which had started to wander. Okay, I get it. Hurry up and take it to her. Why are you pushing your boyfriend away? Louis, quite displeased, snatched the half-eaten pastry from my hand and mumbled with his mouth full, even for the best of friends, it's not appropriate to be alone in a room together. He called the butler, handed him the large bag with a few instructions, then closed the door, turned around, and started to deal with me. Come on, tell me all about how tired you are. What were you all playing before I found you? Even though Louis had made his stance clear, Isabelle's continuous, blatant provocations and willfulness were hard to endure. Dinner was a constant flurry of activity, with her directing Louis to serve soup, refill her rice, and peel her tiny clams. Tiny clams. There's something you just slurp for the flavor, and she wanted someone to peel them. I immediately started slurping mine loudly, giving a textbook demonstration. She sulked and quieted down. Later that night, the butler knocked on our door, stammering and looking troubled. Mississippi Isabelle would like the young master to come to her room. Louis was about to take a shower and casually replied, tell her to text me if she needs something. It's late, she should get some rest. I didn't say anything. I repeatedly refused his invitation to shower together and, while he was in the bathroom, snuck out. When Isabelle opened the door and saw it was me, she couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Couldn't sit still anymore? I nodded. Is Louis getting impatient? I shook my head. She clicked her tongue. Don't you have a temper? I thought for a moment. I'm a little sad. You should be sad, Isabelle said, leaning against the doorframe. Don't hold it in. Go make a scene with Louis. Demand to know what's really going on between him and me. I slowly cut her off. I'm sad that you're supposed to be the graceful swan, the one that got away, not some character with a villainous mean girl script. She was stunned. Huh. Back when I used to chat with S, he often mentioned Isabelle. A dance prodigy, a shining new star. The star had dimmed because of him, becoming a shadow of her former self. It was only natural that she would be psychologically warped. But her tactics were so childish and harmless, it was like she was just going through the motions of being malicious. I had deliberately stayed behind when Louis went out, wanting to see what she was up to, but she never came to bother me at all. Every time she imperiously made a demand, Isabelle's hanging hand would be clenched tightly in her dress, her eyes darting around, her body stiff. Like an introvert trying to act like an extrovert. People always look unnatural when they're forcing themselves to do something out of character. She was putting on a brave face. Trying to make Louis lose patience and get tired of her completely. You don't have to do this. No matter how unreasonable or difficult you are, you won't wear down his sense of responsibility. You'll only destroy the years of friendship he has for you. In the end, he'll still take care of you, but his concern will become cold and robotic, just a task. You don't want that, do you? She was silent. I had hit the nail on the head. I let out a soft breath. If you really want him to let go of the guilt he's carrying, to truly move on, then you should show him that you're living a good life. Did he tell you to say these things? No. He would probably never say these things to you. After a long moment, she let out a small laugh. You look kind of dumb, but you're pretty smart with your words. For the past 2 years, I've told him countless times that I've moved on, that I don't regret it, but the more sincere I sound, the grimmer his expression gets. I understood completely. Even I, a mere bystander, had lost sleep feeling sorry for her, pulling out my phone late at night to search for any updates. Let alone Louis, who grew up with her. Perhaps the sadness I was showing was too obvious, because she suddenly reached out and pinched my cheek. I've always known about you. During that long summer, the only time Louis would even crack a smile was when he was playing games with you. Looking up, I saw Isabelle had straightened up and was walking back into her room. The bag of butterfly pastries was on the table, untouched. Later, you said you weren't going to play anymore, and he went back to being a zombie for a long time. When he noticed I was worried, he started dating a string of girls for no more than a month at a time, putting on this whole playboy act for me, pretending to live a normal life, until he met you again. I was slightly stunned. Louis is 2 years older than me. Logically, our paths should have never crossed. One ordinary day during my freshman year of college, I finished my shift at the campus radio station. When I pushed the door open, I saw him sitting obediently by the door, holding a basketball, waiting for me. Wow, a golden retriever, I thought to myself. The golden retriever followed me, his eyes shining. March 1st, the goodnight story on the public account, was that you? Worried that something was wrong, I nervously pulled out my phone to contact the club president, but he just smiled and leaned in closer. It was absolutely beautiful. I'd heard of love at first sight for many reasons, but being confessed to because my voice was nice was a first. Only now do I know it wasn't because my voice was nice, but because the voice belonged to me. Isabelle picked up her phone and sent a few messages. As if remembering something, she tilted her head towards me. Are you really not worried I'm going to stir up trouble? Maybe I'm tattling to Louis right now, telling him you came over to bully me. Even if you did, Louis wouldn't believe you. It was a trust they had, and a trust that Louis and I had too. That's nice. She put her phone away. I've asked a friend to come pick me up. I don't want to stay here another second. It's much more comfortable being with friends. She was in a hurry to leave that very night. I took a step inside and asked hopefully, if the nerve repair in your arm goes well, will you go back on stage? Probably not. This industry moves so fast, and I'm past my prime. Her gaze paused on my face, and she quickly stopped herself. But, when I do want to dance, I feel more free and uninhibited than ever. I choose my own music, my own time and place. I've actually started learning to paint recently, and that's pretty interesting too. The night breeze rustled the sheer curtains. Isabelle stood by the window, a picture of beauty given form. Isabelle will never know that 4 years ago, a girl was genuinely moved by her story. By her resilience in chasing her dreams, by her strength in enduring rehabilitation. A weight suddenly lifted from my heart. It's so good. The untouchable one that got away, in my mind, is truly as radiant as the moon. I wish you all the best. After stammering that out, I backed out and closed the door for her. I turned around, and my eyes widened slightly. Louis was leaning against the wall in his bathrobe. I had no idea how long he'd been standing there. I was about to speak, but he put a finger to his lips, signaling me to be quiet. I followed him back to the room in silence. Once the door was closed, I couldn't help but grab him. Ah, that's not fair. How could you eavesdrop? How much did you hear? He let me jump around in frustration. Only heard some things, like, you're even prettier than I imagined, can I get your contact info, what kind of painting are you learning, I can't believe it. The moment I look away, you're trying to steal my friend away. You sound more sincere with her than you do with me. My face flushed. No, I wasn't. Why are you jealous of your friend? She's such an amazing person, can't I get to know her? It doesn't affect you. Camilla. Louis interrupted me softly, the teasing gone from his voice. He was serious. I was a little stunned. Yeah? Thank you. For what? Before I could even wonder, his tone shifted again. But I'm still going to be jealous when I need to be. His arm wrapped around my waist. And a certain someone still owes me for her little escapades. That's a debt that has to be paid.